Hello YouTubers, it's Selling Guy 60. Been a while since I made a video. Probably about a good year or so. It's 2021. It's May something. What is it? May 15th. And found this lawnmower up the street, so this is the first one of 2021. And let's check it out and see what's wrong with it. What's right with it. So I just found it up the street and I rolled it down here just to check things out. And let me lock everything in place here. Flip my screen around so I can see myself. See what I'm doing here. There we go. Let's see. Well, let's check the oil first. Hang on. Let's see what we have for oil. Stick it all the way down in there and turn it and check it. Yeah, it's almost full. Looks good. Oil's good. And let's see this here. Let's grab the stop. Turns over. Okay, turns over. Let's see if we have gas, and then we'll check the air filter. See what's going on. Because we don't know what's going on with this thing. Good Lord. Couldn't put gas in it. It was too tight. There's gas in there. Smell it. Smells kind of fresh. The lid is a little bit cracked. You can see this. Lid's cracked up a little bit. I don't think that should have anything to do with it breathing. But put it on there. If the thing runs and dies, then we know maybe there's something more wrong with the cap. I'll just put it on there loosely. Let's see what we have for air filter. Ooh, okay. Wow, air filter's nice and clean. Look at that. There's a first. Air filter's clean. Alright. Now let's see. So carburetor's on this side, so we lift it up. Always lift it up. Oh, let's pull the spark plug off the front first. Always take the plug wire off to be safe. Plug wire off. This is the carburetors on this side, so we'll lift this up and see if we can see. Put it up against the garage. That's interesting. Well, that is very interesting. Ha ha ha. Well, I bet you it doesn't run very well. I'll show you. That's neat. So we're going to have to do some work on this one. Okay, let me explain. This is the blade, and there's a shaft for the motor. Well, there's two little holes right here. Supposed to be little dimples that lock into those holes to keep the thing from rotating. Well, they must have hit something with this, because there's the hole. There's supposed to be a hole right there and a hole right there. So this thing is loose. So it got knocked out of timing. So that may be one reason why this is sitting on the curb. They hit something, and hopefully they didn't break. Let's see. Put that one there. Wow, that's close. That is close. Look at that. That's close. Well, what I'm going to do is take that nut off, and then I'll come back here. So I'm going to pause this, and I'll take the nut off, see what happens here. Yeah, I couldn't get this thing loose with a wrench. When it turned, it bound up this bolt, so we're gonna see if we can't get that thing off here. Put a light on it. Hammer it here. Hang on. Hammer this thing in place. Move it back a little bit. Make sure I hammer this socket on good and tight. Had to fire up my air compressor, so hopefully it doesn't make too much noise. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Oop. Come on, baby. Oh, that's tightened. Wrong way. Hit it with my hand. Wow. Yeah, it sheared those little pieces right off there. You can see it. Sheared them off. If I can take that out of there. Alright. Well, I sprayed some WD-40 on that, but you can see here, right there, there's one right there, and there's one right there. There's supposed to be 2 pins there. Well, it sheared them off, and I think it might have bent this. Might have bent that nut too. Okay, let me see what I can find out here. Shut you off. Here, I wanted to show you something before I took this thing off. There's a washer. When I took this nut off, see, there's a washer right here. This washer is supposed to be on this side. It's supposed to be on that side, and here the washer was on that side, which defeats the whole purpose. You can see where the washer was. Defeats the whole purpose of that thing sitting up into those little notches. So somebody's had their fingers in here before. That's all. We'll see if I can get that. Trying to get this piece here off. Okay, well, we're not going to know this thing runs until I fix this. I might have to get my drill press out tomorrow, and what I'll do is drill a hole here, hole there, put a rivet in both of those so that'll fit in this holes here to at least line it up, and then I'll put it back on again. I got it off. Got some WD-40 penetrating oil, put it on there, it came off. So we don't really know what shape this is in until tomorrow. It's too late now. We'll put it back together and we'll fire it up and see how it runs. Alright, till tomorrow. Alright, YouTubers, we're going to drill this. I saved you the time and craziness it takes to set this up. And we're going to see if we can drill out a couple holes here. That's one. Oh, that hurt. This should be the second one here. Oil on that. There we go. Alright, back. I broke those. Where'd they go? Yeah. I broke those little tabs off. They were sticking up out of there. This is what I wanted to accomplish, is to have a place for those 2 places to sit on. You can see that. There we go. So they have a little notch for them to sit on so they don't spin freely. It's just enough to stick up. And this is originally probably about as much as they stick up. There might be a little bit higher. But it works. I've done this before. Just puts a couple rivets in there when people shear those things off. You could put bolts on from the back side. You could drill a hole and thread this put a bolt up through here, have the threads come up here, and then cut them off to fit over these. Probably be like a, I don't know, 3/8 or something like that. You could do it that way too, but I don't know whether this lawnmower even runs. You know, I'm taking a chance that this lawnmower runs. So all I know is this is one of the problems. So we'll have to put it back together. I'm going to take you up to the other end. We'll scrape out the, as Bruce Pender would say, from all the way up in Canada, scrape out the broccoli underneath the deck, and we'll have to see if this thing will start. So, and I have to remember to put the spark plug back on that. I forget that quite a bit. If you see my other YouTube videos, you know I've done that quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to set you up and we'll scrape some broccoli. Alright, we're back here to scrape some broccoli. It doesn't look too bad underneath here. Some of these tires are a little bit loose. Might have to clean them up a bit, but it's easier to do this when the blade is out. I'm busy. What?
Can we be outside?
It's raining outside. So I would say no. A little bit thick here. Kinds of big chunks on these little flappers. This is the side discharge. So, all right. So let's see if we can't put this thing all back together again. Zip it up tight. Let's see if it'll work. If it runs. Here's my air wrench. Alright. Put this in here.
Yeah!
Hey, quiet, guys. Alright. Blade looks pretty sharp. Alright. Okay, that's better. Much better. Now let's put this on here. Zip this up. Whoa! Alright. Let's check the distance here. Yeah, it's the same distance, so it doesn't look like they bent the shaft any. Of course, we won't know until we start it up. If they hit something on the bottom here, they could have broken the keyway up in the flywheel. Or when this thing was broke off here, it was like this way. So this thing was probably about 30 degrees out of time. And believe me, when you go to start these things, if you don't have the blade on, you can't start it. It's kind of a balancing. The blades kind of balance this whole system out. So, and I still have the spark plug off. I won't be doing this otherwise. Okay. All right, let me get set up, and we'll set this down for a few minutes. Let the oil settle back in, and we'll see if we can't get it started. All right. Cool. Yeah, I wanted to show you this. I kind of swung this thing around to scrape the back side of this cover, and there's a stick. Look at this. There's a stick in here. Now, why is there a stick in here? See that? Somebody ran a stick through this thing. Oh, I know. I never thought about that. That's a pretty good idea. If you want to have a side discharge, instead of having the discharge in there, I guess you can put a stick in here and lift that up a little bit, and the grass will come out here. Well, I never even thought about that. So, I guess if you want to make a shortcut to your putting a deal in here, which I'm going to look up, I think you can buy one of these side discharges probably for, I don't know, $10, $15. I use my side discharge. I don't use my bagger. I know a lot of people like to use their baggers and stuff. I just cut my grass. I don't get all excited about my lawn. I remember down here, Kansas, Missouri area down here, a certain time of the year, our grass looks like shredded wheat. Just rotten. Look at all the stuff I got out of that. That's all the stuff I got out. Just that. And the stick. Hey, you learn something new every day. Okay, let me do the back discharge, and we'll sweep this stuff up a little bit, and then we'll fire this thing up if it's going to run. Oh no! The dreaded battery. Is it the battery? Alright, let's try this one again. I started it. It's just ready to start the mower. And battery went dead. Imagine that. Okay. So we checked the oil, the air filter. Check the oil, the air filter is good. We have gas. I remember to put the spark plug back in there. We clean the broccoli out of the bottom and reposition that blade underneath there, the cutting blade, with the cutting blade mount to make this thing, hopefully it doesn't shake, but we'll see. Okay, keep your fingers crossed. It's been sitting upright for a while. Yeah, that's a little bit hard to pull. The little safety guard. Let's see if it starts. You hear that ticking noise? I lifted up the handle, it didn't tick, but when I pushed down the handle, it ticked. But, as you can see here, yeah, that's probably what they thought was bad with, well, besides that hitting something, and I bet you this thing must have been shaking all over the place. Okay. When I lifted up the handle, it stopped shaking, or making that ticking noise, and then it started ticking again. But look at here, this whole mount. The whole mount here is moving. See that? The whole mount is moving. So the bolts are loose underneath there. So I'll have to put this back on its side and tighten up those mounting bolts. Look at that. Holy cow. Alright, so let's tighten that up, and it's pretty cool it started up though. And let me tighten that up and see if we can get rid of that ticking noise then. Alright, I'll be back again. Well, this turned out to be a little bit more than I expected. It's raining out pretty good right now. Yeah. If you hear some rain in the background, that's what it's doing. Well, here's the 13 millimeter that I thought I could just tighten it up from the outside. Well, here there's a nut on the inside. So I had to take, let's see, there's 2 screws. Had to take this screw here out of here. And then I took the screw out right there in the middle. And this plastic deal here, let's see if I can do this. Oh God. Hang on. Sorry, don't mean to make you dizzy. There's a plastic cover in there that kind of makes the grass go into the grass catcher here. So I had to pull that down here. See, I pulled it down. Put my wrench up back in the back side of this to hold on to that nut there, and then I just tightened it up on the outside. But I wanted to show you. And you got to take the wheel off to get. It at that, because the wheel is right. You know, the wheel is right up to here, and you can't get a socket or anything on there. So now we put it all back together and see if we can get that squeaking noise to stop. All right. Okay, we got it all back together. Let's see if it'll run and not squeak. Make sure I don't have any tools underneath it. Where's my little point? There it is. I wonder if that's the blade hitting. Well, nuts. Okay. The blade must be hitting something. Alright, we'll have to try this out here in another. See what else we can find. Okay, I found the problem. If you look along the edge here, you can see a dent right here. See how it's pushed in? And then there's another pushed in one right there. But if you look real close, right there is a shiny spot. That's where the blade is hitting. Right there. So they're pushing this mower and whatever they've been cutting for years, they keep hitting it. So they kept hitting it for so long, it pushed this edge back, and then when the blade comes around here, it hits it. So I'm going to take my vice grips. There, my vice grips here. And a hammer. I'm going to pound that back and we'll start it up and see if it stops. So that little shiny spot is where I'm going to start. Alright, let's start it up and see if that stops the noise. Too many things in my hands here. Get over the top there. Okay. Wow, that was it. Let's zip it up here and back up. Okay, well, you probably had a list of issues with this. I did tighten that bolt back by that tire that was loose. Wasn't the problem in making that noise. So I bent that little piece that was hitting the blade underneath there, and that was fine. So, you know, sometimes it's a bunch of things. Years ago, I used to tune up my cars when I buy them. I had an old '64 Chevy. I put spark plugs in it. Well, then it would run a little bit better. Then I put points in it, and it would run a little bit better. And then I put a cap and plugs on it, and then it ran fine. So sometimes it's a bunch of little stuff that makes an engine run bad. This one here, they hit something, and the thing was out of balance, so that might have been part of the shaking. This thing knocking on there from them running into stuff when they were pushing their mower was the other part of it. And you know, that thing being loose in the back, that just gets loose, but started right up. So I'm going to run it and probably drain the oil from the bottom of this thing. It's pretty black. And I might put a little oil in this, run it for a while, and then drain the oil back out of it and put fresh oil in it, just to, so when I sell it, it, you know, goes to, it has some good fresh oil in it. But I did something. You know, I was supposed to tip them with the carburetor up. Well, I had tipped this one this way with the gas thing down, and the gas spilled out from this cap. Remember that cap had that cracked lid in it? So that is leaking out of there. So I used the grass that I took out of the bottom of this for some floor dry. So that should, I think that should, I'll take care of it. We'll take it, and it's raining now, so if I have to wait a week before I can take it out and cut some grass with it. But I'll tinker with it, and the air filter is good. I'll probably pull the spark plug out of it, and if the, you know, a few bucks for a plug. If the plug's good, I can take it up and clean it up on the wire wheel up in the shop. Change the oil. That side discharge with that stick, that was a good one. I've never seen that before, but like I said, those sides discharge, you can get one of those things for, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks. So, hey, it was free and it's running. See if I can get it sold. All right, this is Rick, Selling Guy 60. Unless something new comes up with this one, it's a done deal. It's not too bad. I had knocked some grass out of it. It's a Kohler. What is it? A 6.25 Kohler. The Kohlers are okay, I guess. These have a lot of carburetor issues with them, I've noticed online. So this one does not, for whatever reason. So, all right, that's it for now. And there's another one in the bank there for Selling Guy 60. And hopefully see how much money I make off this one. Maybe a good 60 bucks. Okay, all right, see ya.